Hey guys, Rob here with another RubberToe assembly of the Lifetime 15x8 storage shed. Looks just like this. As you see here, we're going to show you the trusses, how to put them together across the roof. And first thing you do is set up the cardboard right in a nice shady spot area there. Make things easy for yourself. And as you saw the flooring there on the left on the concrete, that's where it's going to go. And you see the panels all laid out. There you go. See the flooring? Just got to connect them all. So the cardboards are laid out nice and flat so we can sit on the cardboard instead of the grass there. You got a little shade. It's a hot day this day. And pulling out the tools, make it easy for us here to assemble these trusses. And there you see the trusses all laid out. Those dark brown metal slices, they're called gutter channels, and those are the connector braces in the middle. Dump out all the screws and get right to it. You grab one gutter channel that's going to get two machine screws here. Go in the same direction, make it look pretty. All of these screws, if you're going one direction, make sure all the screws go that same direction. Anyways, you pop them through just like that, and I flipped it over real quick and put one of those little nuts on the end, little black caps on them. Just hand tighten all the way on those two. And then the other side, you can see that's a notch. As you see there, I'm pointing to the notch. So we're going to make two notches, two regulars, and then a center truss. So this is the first of the two notches, and you have the notch pointing to the outside. You can't really get it wrong because there's no two holes on the other side. You get the notch, so the side with the two holes goes right there. As you can see, run in the same direction just like the first two, and then just put two little end cap nuts on the end there. Hand tighten them nice and easy, and I'm holding those screws from the bottom side so they don't, drop out the bottom as I put those on. Makes it nice and easy. And I just put that next piece on, which is the truss brace, called the truss brace, and it's going to get 4 total of the small little machine screws. They're little small, like 1/2 inch long, if that, little screws that go from the inside of the gutter channel pointing outward, and I already have that first one on just like that, and it gets a same little end cap nut on the end of it. See how I run it from the inside pointing out, because your roof tiles, plastic roof tiles, are going to fit into the channel later on. You don't want it pointing the other direction, otherwise your roof channel won't fit down in there, or your roof piece won't fit down into that channel. Anyway, the next piece, just to help hold it all together, is the center bar with the caps. It's called the truss rod, and it gets a cap on the top and a cap on the bottom. Yeah, they're the little bit bigger size end cap nuts, and they're black, solid colored ones. And then it gets 2 more right where you saw there. So here's a nice shot of all 4 of your trusses, except for the center truss. It's going to be built a little bit different from these. As you see, one side, they're all the same on one side, and the other side, it's going to be 2 with the notches and 2 regulars. So here we got, looks like I'm building putting on the piece for the center truss. Okay, so we're building the center truss here, and I always put this piece on first just to get it over with. It's the AHT L bracket, a little metal L bracket that goes in just as you saw there, with the screw going from outside to inside on that one. That's going to connect the gable that's going to be over the doorway in the front. It's just going to connect it to that. See the little hole there? You just put a 3/8 anything, open end wrench or closed end wrench, and then I just snug it up tight with a little Phillips stubby screwdriver there, and you can see how it's angled. I push it all the way to the back, so you have about 2 fingers of space on the end there, and it connects to the one piece. That's called the DSO, and it's the horizontal truss brace. That's what I call it, but I think they call it DSO. So yeah, that little thing's on, and then you jump right to what you see here. Put a little bracket, just like all the others, on the top. That piece on the left is DSM, I think they call it. It's just like the other truss braces. It's a lot shorter though, and it has a big round hole at the end of it, opposite of these that you see here with the 2 holes that connects to the middle connector, just like all the others, and that's going to be your center. Then you take a regular channel and put it on the back side of it. It's going to be the back side, and you just run 2 screws, just like all the others, pointing the same way. Yep, nice and pretty. Put the second one in there, and then after you attach those 2, same way, I'm holding the screws from falling out the bottom as I just screw on the little cap nuts on each one of those. You're going to get a cross brace across, just like all the others, but you can see there the left side is a lot shorter than the other regular truss braces, and it has that hole in the end of it, which is going to get a bar slid through, crossbar that slides through there. So this side here, you just get 2 small screws pointing from outside, from the inside, pointing out, just like you see there, just like the other trusses. Just hand tighten for now the little cap nuts. Gently, carefully flip it over so the holes are still lined up. Run another one through from the inside pointing out, and a little cap nut on that, and it's going to get a center rod down the middle. Yep, right there, just like the others. I went ahead and put the nuts on one end of them all, and as you see there, so I could just slide it through later on and put the other one on the bottom. Just hand tighten for now, and then you'll see here, there's that hole I was telling you. But below that is a smaller hole, and you connect those 2, make them line up. You can see the light shining through, and then this part is the vertical truss brace, and it's going to go just as you see there with the channel, just like the other channels, going the same way. And you're going through all 3 metal pieces there, and then you see the screw passes through, and on the opposite side it's going to go through all 3 metal pieces and come out the other end, and it's going to get a cap nut with a little black cap on the end, just like all the others. Carefully flip it over, and I hold the screw in there, and I just get, as you see there, boom, snug it up, gets a cap nut. And then the next piece is going to be the one where I put that little L bracket on already, and it's right there. Going to install it as you see here. One screw is going to be long screw like all the others, and then there's one screw that's a little bit shorter than all the others, and this is where it's going to come in play here. It's going to go onto the vertical piece, but you take the longer one of the 2. I usually put that first, but you can see there the piece looks a little bit different. It's a little shorter than all the regular truss pieces, but not as short as the one with the hole at the bottom. So yeah, it goes right there, and I put the machine screw pointing the same direction as all the others through all 4 metal pieces. Actually, it's going through 2 pieces, but 4 pieces of metal is what it's passing through, and it gets one of the other nuts. There's 2 nuts that are silver in color, because they're going to tighten down a little bit farther than the others. Not very much farther, just a little bit. You don't want to crimp any of these channels at all. And then that last screw, the short one, a little bit shorter, not the tiny ones, but the one that's just a little bit shorter than all the others. This is where that goes, and it gets, the other silver screw is going to go on that one. And you can see it sticks out a little far, so that's why these silver screws are going to tighten down, and then an extra couple of turns. And it doesn't matter if it's a little bit loose and jiggly, you can give it a couple of turns to tighten it, and if it's jiggly, you'd rather have it a little bit jiggly than have it too tight where it's crimping the metal. So I like to snug them up right where they line up with the metal. Then you just come back through, set your torque on your drill gun, or better yet, just give it a couple of turns by hand and just tighten all these screws without crimping any of the channels. So that's your center one, and then you see all the others lined up straight, just tighten those up, snug them up just a little bit. And there you have it. All of your trusses for this one, which will be 2 notched ones, going to be where the doors are at, and then 2 regular ones along the truss, and then the center truss, which is different, will be right in the middle of the doors. Alright, another rubber toe assembly truss.